A couple months ago, I noticed an issue with my bike. That is that the shifter cable coming out of the rear shifter is a little bit worn through here, and the cable's exposed. The housing's worn through as it goes by here. And the shifter off the back one is worn in that area, but not nearly as much and not completely worn through. While I was in California over winter, I had this little tool bag on the front of my bike. I would keep like a spare tube and some tools to fix my bike and other stuff while I was out riding. And this is a fairly good size because I also throw snacks and other stuff into it. So this does push down on these pretty hard. So I'm pretty sure is that this pushing down on it is what caused the cables to rub, because I haven't seen it up to this point. Admittedly, I've never really checked, but I don't know when I've done it. And I've only rarely used this bag when I'm riding around home, because most of my riding is close enough to home that it doesn't really inhibit me to come home where I'm with another person. And honestly, I should carry this more often. I just get lazy. And when I was out there, I only had a single bike, which meant that I could keep it on my single bike rather than have to switch between the multiple bikes I have here. Without that bag attached, these stay mostly above where the fork Y's out. The one going to the front shifter is a little bit rubbing there, but not all that much, and this one's certainly above there. So I'm pretty good guess that it's when I had that bag on there that was causing this. I want to fix this because having this open allows dirt and grime to get into the cable. And even though the cable is exposed in other places, well, in this place it isn't, and that could work in and really rub itself together. I'm not entirely sure the best way, like ideally best way to replace this entire protective coating, but I can't easily get the protective coating off, and I don't think I'd be able to get it off with completely unhooking the shifter wire because it's on the wire. And I'd rather not do that. I also don't know where to get the protective coating, and it's a lot more work. So what I was thinking was just kind of wrapping in electrical tape. Electrical tape because that's a pretty good water repellent and it stays flexible. Or it's pretty good at keeping water out of it when you wrap it tight and it stays flexible. But I wouldn't want the tape, the sticky part of the tape, right on this wire. So I was going to get a little smidgen of plastic. Should I need it longer than that? And put that above the exposed area of the wire, and then electrical tape. So after I do this, I will also get electrical tape on the one on the far side, the other shifter cable, just to make sure that that doesn't continue wearing. And the other thing I could have had some concern about was what the brake cable is going to do. On the other side, it comes fairly close, but it doesn't appear to be worn. It seems to be made of a tougher material with like metal bands in it, which is a good thing considering that this has hydraulic brakes. So any leak in the brake cable, if it would wear through, would be rather catastrophic for my braking. Though at least, as opposed to this bike, as opposed to a car, has two fully independent braking systems. Whereas a car, even though you'll still have a little bit of brakes after your brakes fail, it's happened to me, you don't have much. Luckily, I was at very low speeds when it happened. One issue could be that the electrical tape isn't as wear resistant as the hard plastic protective lines. So I'm not sure how well this will do. I'm hoping pretty well, but there's no reasonable way to be able to be sure in not that much amount of time. Like before I put this out, and I don't feel like waiting a year. But it's a pretty quick and simple and cheap fix. So even if it doesn't work, it's not too much invested. The only reason I haven't done this sooner and didn't just go out and do it right away was couldn't get up the energy to film the video.